So I just started reading books, calling authors, looking at people that were successful, that were thought leaders, and reached out to them. And again, with no heart of trying to like take advantage of it, I just shared with them. I'm like, I believe that people are not able to live to their highest potential because of money. And if that is true, like I want to learn from the best. And I think on one hand, they saw that I was young. Another hand, maybe they pitied me a little bit, but I think they just really like the authenticity and drive. And so they're like, yeah, we'll give you a shot. This is Better Wealth with Caleb Guilliams. Hey everyone, welcome to the Better Wealth podcast. In this episode, it's actually very interesting and special. I had one of my friends reach out to me. He's working on a book on networking, and he asked me a couple questions. And I was just doing a regular bomb to him, and it's a video email. I just do that in response because typing out responses is tough for me. And as I was going, I just decided to share with him my story before I answered his questions directly. And as I was sharing with him, I'm like, you know what? This show is all about intentional living, and networking is something that I feel very strongly about. And so if you wanted to hear how my story from getting to the bank before I was 18, working at the bank and getting to know every single person and just really just meeting some incredible mentors, and then taking that, what I did locally, and take it to a national level, like I'm a firm believer that we are here. Like I'm able to have an impact because of the ability of being able to network and serve people and be authentic. And so whether you're young, if you know someone that's young, they need to hear this. Like please share this with someone who's in high school, who's in college, who just graduated. But regardless of who you are or where you're at in life, like you need to tap into this because it's huge. But I'm telling you, if you're young, you have an ability to make a big difference. And so when this book comes out, and I'm not going to say any names quite yet, but when it comes out, I'll make sure to promote it because, again, as you can see, I really want this to be a smashing success. So thank you for sharing this podcast. Thank you for leaving reviews. And without further ado, check out my response. I was gutting chickens at 15, 16 years old. My mom's friend introduces me to a guy. His name is Dick Judy. Dick Judy was on the board of Community First Bank. The reason I was meeting with him was he used to run like the business department at the University of Stevens Point, which was my hometown. It was a university. I connect with him. I am so nervous that I end up writing questions down with my mom. I need people to understand this because I think people see me now and they're like, oh, you've always been extroverted. No, I was like, terrified. I was so nervous that when I got to IHOP, that's where I met him, I left my car on. I just didn't think about turning it off. And the moment I sat down with him, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I realized just how much I love this and how powerful it was. In IHOP, Dick Judy pulls out his phone, makes one call, and 17-year-old Caleb, I think I was 17, gets a job at Community First Bank without ever applying for anything. Like that's nuts. Okay. So that happens. And then when I'm at the bank, all I wanted was business cards. Like I don't know what it was, but I just really badly wanted business cards. But because I was a teller, there's really no need to make me business cards. And so I had an opportunity. There was another guy at the bank. His name was Brad, and he was a commercial loan officer. And he took me under his wing. He took me to one of our first networking events. Now, granted, I'm 17 years old. I like I'm getting more social because I'm working at the bank, but Brad believes in me and gives me confidence. And when we walk up to this networking event, I'm, by the way, only high schooler, only college student, all like business professionals, 30, 40 years old. Plus, by the way, plus. And we get to the door and he says, Caleb, two rules. Rule number one is you can't drink alcohol. Don't drink. Rule number two is you can't be my shadow. You're on your own. So what I did was I took some of his cards and I wrote my name on the back of his cards with like a Gmail account. And I went to a networking event and I handed my card out. And I started just realizing that people love talking about themselves. There was this deep desire to want to give back. One of the reasons I'm doing this for you, man, is I want to see you be wildly successful. Like I want to see this book be big because networking has changed my life. And so I'm going to do whatever I can to help you with that. And so you have to tap into that. There's nothing I want from you. There's nothing I want from you other than I feel honored that I get to be a part of your journey. And so I just realized that people love sharing their top hits, sharing the experience. And then one of the funny tricks that I got was when I asked them, "Hey, can I take you out to lunch and pick your brain more?" They'd always say yes, but they would always pay. So being young, whether you're a student, whether you're just starting off, and by the way, this works for everyone, but when you're young and if you're listening to this or you're reading this, you have to tap into the power of talking to people that have been experienced and playing to the advantage that they truly want to serve and they want to help. And it's not, I mean, and don't take advantage of it, but like it's really amazing. And so many people are just spending time with their friends or their family. By the way, family's fine, but like there's something really powerful when you reach out on your own to other people. And so that sparked this just like massive passion for networking. I did that multiple times. I would just start cold calling CEOs. I had one of the most successful people in our town who sold his last company to Warren Buffett. I did a podcast with him. If you want to check it out, it's John Noel on my podcast. And I just reached out to him. It took me about 2 months to get on his calendar. I walked in and just shared with him pretty much my story and just asked him to mentor me. And I had one of the most successful, wealthiest people I knew said yes. And that when you're around people like that, it just changes the game. And so when I ended up taking over the bank's investment department, I was like, what if I did this? What if what I did on a local scale actually worked at a big scale? Like what if I could actually take what I did locally and do it nationally? And so I just started reading books, calling authors, looking at people that were successful, that were thought leaders, and reached out to them. And again, with no heart of trying to like take advantage of it, I just shared with them. I'm like, I believe that people are not able to live to their highest potential because of money. And if that is true, like I want to learn from the best. And I think on one hand, they saw that I was young. Another hand, maybe they pitied me a little bit, but I think they just really like the authenticity and drive. And so they're like, yeah, we'll give you a shot. And so, yeah, man, I'm really, really grateful for that. And that I just learned so much. And that's when I realized I need to take this to the next level. And that's when I left the bank and started BetterWealth. And then we've done connecting and networking now. Like I mean, I'm speaking on a summit with some incredible speakers to an amazing audience. And by the way, like that happened because of a networking. And everything you look at everything from the podcast that I'm on, from even meeting you, from what the book has given me the ability to do and speaking, and even the big joint partners that we've landed, it's all been relationships. It hasn't happened overnight. But the cool thing about my story, by the way, is networking got me into the bank. Networking got me pretty much promoted to be the investment, because I was so well loved in the community and just, I just was promoted at that point. But then it also got me to a national level, and it's just because people are amazing. And if you're really authentic and you put yourself out there, really, really good things can happen. So I hope that story is good. I'm actually, by the way, I might even share this on my show because I think so many people, as it relates to networking, need to hear this. Need to hear this for sure. And so we're going to try to figure out well, I might share this on my show because your questions really sparked something in me that makes me want to help you promote this. Thank you so much for listening to the BetterWealth podcast. It would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with the people that you know and love.